Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to cover a very important second question which is to find the missing numbers between the minimum and the maximum value. Okay, so let's start. So we have this table which is having numbers. Okay, so if we see we have number 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, but if you notice here number 3 is missing, here number 5 is missing, and number 9 is missing, right? So we need to find out the missing numbers. Okay, so let's understand how can we solve this problem. Okay, so to solve this problem we will be using the recursive CTE. Okay, so I will request each and everyone who don't know the recursive CTE to go to my YouTube channel and watch the video on the recursive CTE. Okay, I have already created the video on the recursive CTE. Okay, so now let's understand the solution. Okay, so let me just write output. Okay, what we want in output. Okay, so here you can see what we are missing. 3 is missing. Okay, and then 5 is missing, and then 9 is missing. Okay, so basically in my output I want these three numbers to come out. Okay, so let me just create the table for this. Okay, okay, so okay, fine. So that's what we want in our output. Okay, so how can we solve this problem? Okay, so what we will do, we will first find out the what is the minimum value from this table. Okay, so let me just write minimum and maximum values. Okay, so from this table the minimum value is 1. Okay, and the maximum value is 10. Okay, so what I will do now, based on this minimum value and the maximum value, I will try to generate the numbers. Okay, so basically I will generate all the numbers between 1 and 10. Okay, so basically I will create one table, you can say numbers table. Okay, which will be having all the numbers from 1 to 10. Okay, so let me just create it. Okay, so basically I will be creating one more table using the recursive CTE. Okay, based on this minimum value and the maximum value, I will generate all the numbers between the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, so after generating the number, what I will do, so I have one this table that I generated using recursive city, and the other one I have this input table that we have. Okay, so now what I will do, as you can see, right, this table that I generated using recursive city, it has all the numbers. Okay, and this is my input table which has some missing numbers. Okay, so now what I can do, I can do the left join between these two tables. Okay, and whatever number will be missing in my right table, that will be null, right? Okay, so I can easily fetch the number from my left table. Okay, which is null on my right side. Okay, so here if you see, right, number 3 will be null on my right side, right? So I can easily fetch this number from here, right, after doing left join. Similarly for 5 and similarly for 9. Okay, so I hope you are able to get it. Okay, I will use the left join. Okay, here. Okay, so what we are going to do, we'll first find the minimum value and the maximum value from the input table. Okay, and after finding the minimum value and maximum value, we will generate the number using recursivity between the minimum value and the maximum value. So here you can see, right, I have generated the numbers between 1 to 10, right? And then what I will do, I will use the left join between the generated numbers and the input table. Okay, so after doing left join, obviously whatever number will be missing, I will get the null on my right side, right? So I can easily filter out the null values, right? So I can easily fetch the numbers from my left table, right? Here I will get 3, 5, 9. Okay, so that's how we are gonna do this question. Okay, so now let's go to the PostgreSQL. Okay, let's write the queries first. Okay, so our first step gonna be, we will first find out the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, and we are gonna use the recursive city. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so I already have this numbers table created. You can see, right, I have the number 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, so here 3, 5, and 9 numbers are missing. Okay, so now what I will do, I will write the recursive city. Okay, so syntax, I hope you know, right, with recursive. Okay, and then let's give some city name. Let's say find numbers. Okay, find missing. Here first we'll find the minimum and maximum. Find min max. Okay, and then I will say s clause. Okay, and then within the parentheses I will write the query. Here I want to first find out the minimum and maximum, right? So what I will say, select max. First I will find the minimum of num column. Okay, let's call it as num. Okay, and I will find out the max of num column. Okay, let's call out as max number, you can say. Okay, let me call the first number as minimum number. Okay, and this will be from numbers table, right? Input table that we have. Okay, so let me just execute this and see are we getting the minimum maximum value or not. Okay, so you can clearly see, right, this query will give me the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, so that we are able to get it. Okay, so this is my first CT that I've written. Okay, from which I am getting the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, so basically the first step is done. Okay, now what I will do, I will try using the recursive CTE, I will try to generate the numbers between the first number minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, so I will write another CTE. Okay, here I will say let's say find missing numbers. Okay, as, and here I will add the recursive CTE query. Okay, so now I will have to generate the numbers, right, between the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, so what I will do, I will take the minimum value from this CTE. Okay, first. Okay, so I will say select min number. Okay, from my previous CTE. Okay, I will call it as, let's say, as number, I will say. Okay, okay, and then I will say union all. So this is the syntax of recursive CTE. Okay, if you don't know, then go and watch the video of the recursive CTE. Okay, now I want to generate the numbers between the minimum value and maximum value, right? So now what I will say here, select num plus 1. Okay, num plus 1 from, I will take the name of this city. Okay, because this is a recursive query, and then I will say where condition. Okay, where num is less than, this number should be less than the maximum value of our input table. Okay, so I will say select max number from my previous city. Okay, so this is the recursive city we have written. Okay, now so here we are able to generate the numbers. Okay, now what we need to do, we need to do the left join. Okay, between this table and the our base table. Okay, so what I will do, select. Okay, let me just write a star. Okay, from uh, this, now my this table has all the numbers, right, between the minimum value and maximum value. Okay, and I will do left join with the input table, right? Okay, and I will join on the numbers column. Okay, dot num equal to numbers dot num column. Okay, and I will say I want to filter out where numbers dot num column is null. Okay, and I want to select the dot num column here. Okay, first let me execute and then I will tell you. Okay, what I did. Okay, so you can clearly see that I'm getting 539 in my output. Okay, so what I did first, in my first query, I was able to find the minimum value and the maximum value. Okay, that is the first step that we explained in Excel also, right? So I was able to find the minimum value, maximum value. Okay, and after finding the minimum value, maximum value, I written the one recursive query, okay, recursive city query, where I was able to generate the numbers between the minimum value and the maximum value, okay. So that's what I was able to do here, okay. And then after generating the numbers, what I did the left join between the this table and the input table, okay. So here you can see, right, outside I am doing the left join, okay, between the recursive generated number and the input table, okay. And then I am saying where this input table dot number is null, okay. Obviously after left join, whatever numbers are not present in that table, it will be null, right? So that's what we are doing where condition, okay. And I'm selecting the numbers from my recursive query generated numbers, right? Okay. So I hope you are able to get it, okay. So I hope I was able to cover this topic, okay. If you are able to get it, then please subscribe to my channel and like the video, okay, and share it with your friends, okay. We will meet in the next video with some interesting SQL interview question, okay. Till then, goodbye and thank you.